DigiByte.com. I'm Kurt Wurkert Jr., and I am live with Josiah Spackman, the I don't know if he's self-proclaimed or community-proclaimed community outreach manager for DigiByte. There's a story behind that. Seemingly, there's a story behind everything with Josiah. So I'm really excited about this interview, and looking forward to sharing with all of you out there in the crypto traders universe. Josiah, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show, man. It's great to be here.
For sure. So I always start out with the same basic question. What's your background? How'd you get involved? And are you a trader?
Well, so I got involved back in the day, and I heard back in 2013 about Bitcoin and about how you could mine it yourself, and you almost print your own money, but also the whole idea of being in control of it yourself, right? Like, so that was really cool, and that appealed to me, that aspect of it. So after that, it's so we got a little bit of echo there.
Yeah, got some echo. Matt, if you could put headphones on, is that what's going on there?
Anyway, so it was cool. I got started off. I started out a little bit of mining and things, and anyway, long story short, I got involved in a bit of DigiByte. It kind of put it on hold a little bit while I ended my last marriage sort of thing, and I picked it up again sort of like 9 months ago. Started again with DigiByte. Sure. Got involved. It was really cool, and while I was away on my honeymoon, talking with the founder, Jared Tate, he's like, "Hey, look, we've got a foundation that we're doing. We want to get you involved, and we've seen what you've been doing in the community, and you've been helping out, and here we are today, apparently." So yeah, it's
beautiful.
Cool. I've done a little bit of trading. It didn't work out too well. Apparently, I need to subscribe to like your website or something, because last time I did it was like 4 or 5 months ago or something, and sure. I lost like 40,000 DigiByte. It was a terrible day for me.
We are here to help. The trading training program starts at $397 if you want to sit on your own time and watch the video and learn how to trade. This is not a commercial, but we're available to help. Feel free, actually, if you want to
slide along the bottom there.
Right. Feel free. Honestly, reach out to me on Facebook if you want to talk about it. We can get you set up. We can probably work out a deal with you since you're cool enough to spend this time with us too. So what's the the 30 to 60 second version of what is DigiByte?
So an elevator pitch. DigiByte is not just a cryptocurrency. DigiByte is not just a token. It's probably more closely aligned to be called a digital asset. And so on that, the reason behind it is you can trade, you can send money, you can store value, but you can also do things like you can notarize documents into the blockchain. You can use it for authentication and identity management and a whole lot more. So it's not just a token. It's not just a cryptocurrency. It's not just faster Bitcoin, although that is what we've been called before. But it is, we're very multifaceted, I suppose, in that respect. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So if you're faster Bitcoin, I'm guessing. One of the things that really stood out to me, like I make a point of reading the white paper of every interview I'm going to do. I really want to make sure that I know why I'm talking to you, like what's special about the coin of the conversation. The thing that stood out the most was the 5 mining algorithms, which to me, it doesn't make sense conceptually how you could be using 5 different mining algorithms simultaneously. So then my first thought, like I've heard all these conversations, you get all the Bitcoin maximalists saying, SHA-256 is the best for, security, decentralization, or whatever. And then you have the other people saying, well, GPU mining is the best for decentralization because it's accessible and more people will do it. And so why 5 mining algorithms, and why was that decision made with DigiByte?
So I don't think that they're wrong. Like, why can't they both be right? Like, why can't they both be like, you know what, the security that you get from SHA-256 and the ASIC mining, I mean, never mind the fact that I think it's like 2 mining pools in China make up like 60% of the hash power, but that's a story for later.
Right. I don't think Jihan's watching. You can talk about
it. Same for Litecoin as well. And what's really ironic is I'm pretty sure it's even like the same 2 pools that have the same. It's crazy. But anyway, so what if they're right? What if you get the most like hash rate and security in that respect from having ASIC mining?
Mm-hmm.
What if we could then combine that as well with the decentralization and the distribution and the anybody can contribute, and it's not that you've got to then invest like $10,000 to get that. What was the new one? It's the Kryptonite miner or whatever that they've just come out with. It's like 12 grand or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. But like so like mom and dad at home, they can't do that, right? Like your average like teenager with a graphics card, though, he can contribute to the security of the blockchain. He can play a very vital role and actually contribute to the security of DigiByte. And so we've got 5 mining algorithms, and we're about to swap 3 of them out later on to ensure that we can do a lot more with the graphics card mining. Mm-hmm. And we figure that with this 5 of them, we've got the best of both worlds. It's not just about you've just got your ASICs or we've got all of them. And so the really interesting thing is we get a whole lot of additional security benefits over and on top of that. Yeah. Not just because of our DigiShield algorithm, but there's additional benefits to having both of them and to be able to swap out one algorithm if it becomes like we're going to do with the ASIC mining and things like that. So we're going to swap out a couple of them, and but
pretty cool.
It's the 5 mining algorithms add some additional security over and on top of that, and I think that's really quite important. And it's often understated just how powerful having 5 of them are. So I'm a huge fan of that aspect. It is really, really unique. I mean, obviously, aside from the fact that we borrowed that code from Myriad Coin, but it's like you look at 99% of the coins out there, and they're like we're one algorithm and one algorithm only.
Right.
So
they're maximalists of the algorithm.
Yeah. So we'd rather go with whatever's best, whatever suits the security and the decentralization and everything.
So how is that chosen? Like, is DigiByte running on one algorithm most of the time, and then like what circumstance would change which algorithms being used, or are they all being used simultaneously? Or
all simultaneously. So if you have a look, you can go to, I'm pretty sure we've got it up on digiexplorer.info, and so if you have a look there, it'll actually it gives you like a list of each of them as they spill down the page. And so we can see the last algo was qubit, and then you've got script, and then there was a scheme mined block, and then another script block. So it's really cool. So every 15 seconds, you've got your 5 mining algorithms, and they've all got a perfectly even chance of finding the block. And so what we find is this gives us additional security. Like, let's say we take the entire Litecoin network and we throw all of that hash power at the DigiByte network.
Right.
At most, they're maybe going to get like 2 or 3 blocks. And then they're going to have evened out very, very, very quickly down to the same level as everybody else, to the same 20% chance of being able to find a block. So we've got that added security. Whereas if you were to take, let's say you take the mining power from Litecoin and you throw it at another script coin that doesn't have quite the same hash power, all of a sudden you're going to find that all of those miners can get a whole lot of the coin very quickly. So it's a very interesting take on it, plus of our DigiShield algorithm as well, combined with all of it, and it's absolutely incredible. So the security is it's right up there, man. It's
that's awesome. I like it. So if I wanted to be an amateur miner of DigiByte, and I'm actually an amateur Monero miner myself at the moment, I've got a little box rig, and it doesn't make me a lot of money, but it's I do it for the network. But what would be the simplest way for someone like me to jump in and just really casually mine DigiByte?
Well, actually, one of the really cool things, one of the guys in our community, Patrick Whelan, so he's got involved in the last couple of months, and he's been doing a couple of YouTube videos and stuff and some interviews, and really cool dude, and he's really motivated, and he's also gone out and made a one-click miner. And so he saw a need, and I got him into mining, and it was really cool because he asked me the exact same question. So he went onto that website and started working through some stuff that I'd written out in the past, and it was a case of, you download the software, you configure this and do this. He's like, that's cool, you've got a guide, but he's like, how would we make this easier, so that anybody could do it? And I'm like, I know how to do that. Let's make you want what's called a one-click miner, and so we did. We went out, and so between he and I, we've got a developer and stuff, and he's gone and he's absolutely spearheaded this project. He's made a one-click miner, so you can go and you can download this. You basically you pop in your wallet, and that's it. It's literally it's that easy. It's really
that's awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. So one of the things that I've heard critics, you get the Bitcoin maximalists, and they'll talk about something like, Litecoin, for example. And I said, well, Litecoin's got these 2.5-minute block times, but they get all these orphan blocks because the block times are too short and there's not enough transactions to fill them, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you're doing 15-second blocks, does DigiByte have an orphan block problem or no?
No, we're pretty good. So back in the day, it speaks volumes to the foresight and to the ingenuity of Jared Tate. Like, so especially him, he foresaw a lot of these problems happening with Bitcoin and with Litecoin and things. We forked from Litecoin, so like I don't want to talk too bad about them, right? Because they're kind of like our uncle, if you will. Like, that's where we came from. So, but at the same, so we don't have a problem with orphan blocks. We're thanks to the DigiSpeed hard fork, which happened in 2015. That brought us down to 15-second block times, and we used some block propagation research from Microsoft that they did back in the day for the Bitcoin network, and they were like, look, you need to do this and this, and so they wrote this white paper in collaboration with a university. I don't recall exactly where it was from, but yeah, so this particular white paper basically goes and it says it's doable at a faster level. You don't have to have the orphan blocks. And so what they did was back in 2015, they hired like a butt ton of bandwidth from across the world sort of thing, and servers and what have you. And they tried to basically like max out the theoretical limit of DigiByte at 280,000 transactions a second. We're like, let's just shoot for 2035, like our limit.
Sure.
And we'll test it. Let's stress test the network. Let's see if this thing actually holds up. And they did. They did it. They did 15-second block timings.
Nice.
And they didn't have a problem with orphan blocks. And they even found that they could probably squeeze it and go even faster. But 15 seconds kind of seemed like a pretty safe amount. And so, yeah, 15-second block times, and it's cool. Really cool. So the paper's still online. You can still go look that up if you want. It's a little bit over my head. Like, I'm reading through it and I'm going,
sure,
this looks cool, but
it's a lot of math. Yeah.
It's a lot of math and some fancy graphs, and there's probably more letters in the math than there is numbers, and that's when you know it's getting technical.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no thanks. So, well, we just talked about a bunch of stuff that makes DigiByte unique. My next question was going to be, what makes DigiByte unique? But gosh, just the lead up has been, all unique things. So, what is something that DigiByte specifically does better than any other coin? Like, what's the one thing that absolutely nobody else can touch about DigiByte?
Oh, that's a good one. Do we have to include things like centrally provisioned coins and stuff in that? Because the thing is, so when you look at it, right, like, so 15 seconds, we are the fastest proof of work UTXO blockchain, hands down. Like, nobody even comes close. I'm pretty sure like number 2 is 60 seconds. Okay. Like, we're way faster.
Sure.
But then you have a look at, you've got the likes of Ripple, or you've got who are that other coin that was doing like the delegated proof of stake and things like that, and then you've got things like Neo, and again they've got that whole Byzantinian, and it's
yeah.
I mean, look what happened with Neo when they lose a node and everything turns to custody. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that's not how the Byzantine distributed fault system is supposed to work. Like, you're supposed to lose a node and it'll work.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, our speed, unmatched in the UTXO blockchain space. Absolutely unmatched. But then same for the transactions. Like, we could take, if you go to CoinMarketCap and you grab the top 50, all coins, we can handle the transactions, like the current transactions they're all doing combined, times 10, and we still have room to go right now. Like, yeah, it's crazy just how few transactions are happening out there compared to what we can also handle. So it's incredible, man. Yeah, it's great.
So that's great, actually. And which brings me, like, the next question then is, like, I always have this like market cap question with people too. Like, well, if you're number 100, like, what does it take to become number 1, or what is your goal then? Like, I mean, to me, it sounds like at a glance, without auditing what you're saying, that DigiByte really could replace essentially everyone. So why do we need Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ripple and the rest of the top 10 if DigiByte can be everything? What's stopping it right now? Why is DigiByte not the number 1 coin in the universe?
Well, this is why I've only just recently joined Twitter, is because I say stupid shit like that, right? Like, we could do the transactions of the top 50, and then someone said to me after, like, I was doing, like, a live stream or whatever, they're like, can you really? And I was like, can we actually? Ah, damn, now I've got to make sure that we can. So I did. I went through every single coin there, and I found how many transactions they were doing, or for some of them, they're not doing any. Like, I mean, you've obviously, like, Tron's in there, so they're not doing any. But for the ones that are, dig, right? Like, the ones that are, I add them all up, and they came to 50 transactions per second. This was a week ago. So I've gone through, and I've got a spreadsheet, and I've done it. They come to just over 50. I think it was like 50.8 transactions per second in total. That's easy. We can do 560. Like 50 is nothing. Like,
sure,
you know. So there's definitely, like, I've been looking at the ICOs and things, and ICOs are great for getting rich quickly. They're great for losing money quickly as well.
Yeah, this is
like
true.
I know a guy, and he was about to invest in Plexcoin, and he thought Plexcoin. He's messaging me. He's like, dude, you gotta get into Plexcoin. It's gonna go sky high. This is great. I'm gonna buy some tomorrow. Anyway, he goes in there tomorrow, and the website's down. He's like, this is bad. Their website's down. If they can't even run a website, how could they run a blockchain? This is bad. Maybe I would. And then, like, a week later, it comes out they're a scam, and he was like, oh, dude, I was about to give them $1,000. Like, oh my goodness.
Now we're one of the only investment and trading groups that we have a no ICO policy. So we don't let anybody post about them. We don't post about them. We recommend that everyone stay away from 100% of them. I mean, it's plausible that we could make an exception in a certain circumstance, but we'd have to see it when we see it, because I think it's actually probably the biggest problem in all of cryptocurrency now is the speculation aspect and people thinking they deserve to get rich quick, and therefore, you know, the technology doesn't matter. People don't even know what the technology is. So,
but it's because, like, I found something. I found it on Facebook. They had a Facebook ad, and I found it, and I'm gonna go to the moon off of it.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
That's not how it is. So 60% of all ICOs fail in the first, like, in the last 9 months. Over 60% of them have failed already.
Right.
Those are not good odds.
No.
And so,
it's terrible.
You know, we do, like, if I look at the coin market cap, and I was talking with you a bit about before, if you filter it by non-mineable, you get rid of all the non-mineable coins, and then you actually start looking at, like, the real blockchains, not the ones that are, like, riding on top, they're like ERC20 tokens and things like that, but like a genuine blockchain. All of a sudden, aside from the fact that it makes us, you know, we're number 20, so hey, that's cool, right? Like, all of a sudden we've gone, woo! But if you have a look, those, like, of those, now we're starting to look at, like, real projects. I mean, there's other ICOs that are out there, and they're doing cool and things like that. Like, so don't get me wrong, I'm not completely bagging on ICOs, but I'm like you, and I feel like it's a little bit too risky, and I think that a lot of, especially in America, the regulation's going to come out, and it's going to help protect people, and it should be welcomed. So, but yeah, I do think that of those, we are, like, Bittrex just delisted. How many did they delist, like, this morning?
You know what? I saw the headline, and I haven't gone and checked it out myself. But yeah, I saw there was going to be a major culling over at Bittrex.
Like 20, 30, 40 or something, and they're just like, poof, they're gone. And I was like, that's a lot of coins. And then they've got, like, asterisks next to them, and it's like, these are the ones that don't even have a functioning wallet anymore, so you can't even cash your coins out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like, that sucks for people, man. Like, that's brutal.
Yeah. It is. It's brutal, but you know that's why we advocate. You know, do your research, do fundamental research, and then trade the chart. So, it's awesome.
Yes.
So dialing it back. Let's.
We were going here, and then we've gone here. We have forked from the discussion, right?
Yeah, you know, it's good. I in my opinion, this all has a ton of value. We're getting good views here on the live cast too. So, nice. Back to DigiByte itself. Was it developed from the ground up? Like you mentioned that it was forked from Litecoin. So how much development is unique? Was it forked, like, really far away from Litecoin ultimately? You've mentioned a couple of different forks. So I mean, is it a super unique chain compared to Litecoin at this point?
Oh yeah. So Litecoin is pure Scrypt, and what are they, 2.5 minute block timing? So I think when we started, we were 60-second block timings, and then a few, like, so you fast forward, we've done a number of hard forks, but they're not hard forks in the sense, like, if you look at Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold. So it's not like you're going off this way and we're going off that way, but this is more of everybody's in the same boat, and we're just slightly reorientating the boat a little bit, and we're all going the same path. So we've made, I think it's like 4 hard forks and 3 or 4 soft forks or something now, and it's
Okay.
crazy. And so we've constantly kept up with the Bitcoin wallets as well.
Sure.
But so we originally forked from Litecoin, so we've done all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Litecoin hasn't actually changed in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
they did SegWit, that was cool. And then Charlie Lee even came out in like August last year. He's like, yes, we are now on par. Yes, we are on par with the Bitcoin wallets.
Right.
Like, that's cool, right? But
right.
Yeah, so
not,
I mean,
not crazy exciting.
Yeah, well, congratulations, you merged code from upstream, like whoopee. But that was probably a little rough.
That's fine.
You know, but okay, so if you have a look at like what the guys have been doing, they've been doing like some huge work. So we've gone from 1 mining algorithm to 5 mining algorithms. We've implemented DigiShell, our difficulty retargeting. We're now doing 15-second blocks. The block size has increased. It's like heaps has been going on in the last like 4 years. So it's not like they just kind of like grabbed the code and then just like forked and that was it. And it's like it stayed there, but it's been under some pretty serious development, and so cool. I think at this point we probably share less with Litecoin than we share similarities. So yeah,
okay. That's cool. So one of the other things I always look into fundamentally is governance model, and I think a lot of people ignore that. You know, you get a lot of people that are really excited about Ripple because it's cheap, right? You know, there's this cheap coin out there, and they're not looking at how many, you know, XRP there are, and they're not looking at, you know, compared to Bitcoin, that, man, if I buy 50,000 Ripple and they go up to Bitcoin's value, I'm going to be, you know, blah, blah, blah. So my first
there's
question
100 billion of them, guys. Like,
right,
it's not going to happen.
Sure. So who is Jared Tate, and what is his relationship to DigiByte? Because you've mentioned him, the website mentions him, but I feel like I'm made to feel like I should know who Jared Tate is, but I don't know who he is, so I'm very curious.
Yeah. So this is kind of that's a good thing, but it's a bad thing, right? Like, so this is twofold. So obviously, like with Bitcoin, you've got Satoshi Nakamoto. He founded it. He started it. With Litecoin, you've got Charlie Lee. He founded it. He started it. Everybody knows his face. And same for Vitalik. He founded it. He started it. But same with DigiByte. Jared founded it. He started it. He's been an active developer. But he's an incredibly humble person. And so he would say, you know, aside from the fact that he's at least like a known person, he would probably say that like he doesn't, on an individual level, matter. Like, so for me as well, as Josiah, as a DigiByte like ambassador, I don't specifically like matter. It is what matters is the coin and the blockchain and the governance model behind it, and the fact that it's going to carry on ticking, and so all of those sort of things. So yeah, like he definitely matters because he's quite the visionary, and he had the foresight back in 2014 to be able to see all of these problems with Bitcoin and with Litecoin and things like that. So that in itself is awesome, but he doesn't sort of like to talk about it because he's a very humble guy. It's incredible. He's a very gifted speaker though, but so he's not like Satoshi Nakamoto though, where people are going, well, Satoshi's got like 1.5 million Bitcoin, and people are like, if that flooded the market, imagine how bad that would be. Sure. But at the same time, people ignore Ripple. They're like, well, there's 60% in escrow. Like, that basically just means they've put it in like a cold wallet. Like, that could still hit the market at any time.
For sure. Yep.
You know? So yeah, in that respect, like, he matters, but at the same time, he would probably argue that he doesn't matter. And I would also argue that, like, as a person, I don't matter as well. It's what matters is the governance model, like you said, with the foundation. Yeah. That is so important, and I'm so glad that you're able to, like, a lot of people overlook that. You're right. A lot of people overlook that.
Yeah, for sure. So you've mentioned the DigiByte Foundation. Is there like a corporate connection at all anywhere? Do you have like a venture capital firm? Do you get, you know, rich bankers calling asking for updates on DigiByte, or is it pure your decentralized foundation management? What's the status?
Foundation. Yeah, man. Like, there's nothing. There's no corporate entity behind it. There's nobody pulling any strings that can go, hey, we've got to, like, this, you know, we've got to do this now, or anything like that. Like, if I dropped off the face of the planet tomorrow, you know, it's still going to carry on ticking along just nicely. But I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because at the same time, so we don't have any like huge ICO backing. Like, so, you know, Tron managed to raise, they were worth $18 billion. Like, you could do a lot of marketing with $18 billion. Right. Which, so in that respect, like, so I'm here, I'm not paid or anything like that. The foundation doesn't pay me. The foundation doesn't pay anybody. It just looks after the blockchain, and so we've been doing like some really cool donation stuff lately, which is really, really awesome to see the community come together. We've done some bounties. We've hired a PR manager. We've done some. We even did a drive to donate money to Venezuela, and we raised a whole bunch of money to send with David Hay to Venezuela to distribute to people on the ground in a country where hyperinflation's hit them. And so this is so cool. Like we ask the community, and the community responds, but there's no. Like, we don't take a 10% mining fee or whatever, like Zcash, and 10% doesn't go, like, with Dash to the whatever the community fund is.
Right, into Evan's pocket or into, like, any of that. Like, there's a lot of interest. We're going to be interviewing Joel from Dash in about a week and a half.
So I can't be too new.
Well, I got some questions about that, too, because I really think, like, governance model really does matter. I mean, like, Dash really has a lot of things going for it because of the way that they govern themselves. I mean, they're sponsoring MMA fighters, they're sponsoring freedom festivals. So I mean, Dash is everywhere, and
they've got that 10% to show off, right, and to do advertising and to do marketing, to pay developers and things like that. Right. So on the one hand, like, that's really cool, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I think it is really awesome, but at the same time, I think that it's slightly different from DigiByte, like from where we want to be and where we want to go kind of thing. And so it's, that's super cool that it works for them. Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at Bitcoin's managed to survive, and it doesn't have any, 10% fee going to that kind of thing. Sure. I got sent a screenshot of this. It's like what do you call it? Like some kind of an event where Dash is sponsored. And they've got a stall there, and it's really cool. And basically, it is just like this cardboard cutout that has the Dash logo, and that's basically it. There's nobody at the stall. There's nobody there, and so they've paid for that, obviously. Like, I mean, but at the same time, like you say, they're sponsoring MMA fighters and stuff like that, and so that's pretty cool that they're able to get their name up there and stuff. So.
For sure. So, all right, cool. So talking about other coins, do you have a coin, or is there a group out there that you see as like DigiByte's main competition? Like, is there a coin that DigiByte really wants to be right above in that? So when people like, do you have a coin that you feel most competitive with, or no, not really?
Like, it's really probably like Ripple, right? But sure. If you were to fill, because of their transaction timing, but because it's all centrally done and you've got that whole DPoS and everything, it's completely different, and it is centrally controlled, and it's centrally provisioned, and you're lining someone else's pockets and stuff like that. And so I like the idea, like the core behind Bitcoin, and the core, like the ethos of it, and the idea that like you're in control of your private keys. My cousin sends me a message. He's like, dude, I just bought some Ripple. This is the greatest thing ever. And, I bought like 50 Ripple. So he puts it into his cell phone wallet, and then he goes to send it back to the exchange. He's like, wait a minute. I can only send 30 back to the exchange. Why can't I send this last 20? And it's because you've got to keep 20 in your wallet at all times.
Right, you got to stake it.
He's like, I can't get rid of this 20. It's stuck there forever. I can't ever spend it. I'm like,
well, welcome.
Dude, I had no idea. But so they're probably our biggest like competitor in terms of like the speed. But they've got their own things. And so like if you do what I suggested, and you filter by the mineable coins, and you actually get like a raw, like a true like blockchain kind of thing, then there's plenty enough of that pie to go around. And I don't think that, I mean, as much as I'll bag on Litecoin and Dash and Bitcoin and everything, even Dogecoin, right? Like Dogecoin's way above us in the list. Yeah. And they're a meme coin, and they haven't done a single bit of development. I'm pretty sure their wallet hasn't changed in the last what is it, like 4 or 5 years or something? It's terrible, but it's so cool at the same time, right? Like, it's fantastic. But like, so there's enough of the pie. Like, I don't like, we're never going to be number one. Mm-hmm. It's like, we might be. I don't know, right? But like, if something could happen with Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, who knows? But at the same time, like, that's not where we don't strive to be number one. Like, we're not here to like dethrone Bitcoin. Is probably the best way of wording it. Like, it would be cool if we go up the charts a little bit and all, but what really matters is like the adoption and the people using it, and to be able to find something cool to do with the blockchain, like the identity, the document validation, notarization, and a whole lot of other really cool stuff. Like, that's what really matters, more so than we've managed to bump Monacoin now down, so they're 21 and we're 20, right? Like, that's, there's more than enough of the pie to go around.
Sure.
The entire cryptocurrency like world right now is worth like $300 billion.
Yeah.
That's enough. Apple Computer is
Yes.
worth $900 billion. Like,
Right.
we are at the very start here. Like, this is so far to go.
Right.
And so it's incredible, man. Like Apple computing is worth 3 times more than Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
So you mentioned, like Dogecoin. Dogecoin's got like no development. Their wallets are, unupdated for years at a time. I noticed one of the things that DigiByte seems to really always be up on is like you've got a wallet for every platform. It seems like every box that could be ticked ever, like DigiByte is just like, yeah, we've been there for years. So do you indeed have a wallet? One of the questions that's been asked in the Facebook group is where like what wallets are available? Are you available on like some of the light wallets, the Coinamies and the Jax wallets of the world? And
we do not have a Windows Phone wallet.
Okay, interesting. Good thing nobody has a Windows Phone, right?
Like, I don't even think Microsoft have a Windows Phone right now. Like, but
sure.
No, so like we've got so we're on Coinomi, we're Jax. I actually contacted Jax last year, and so they swore black and blue that they were adding us. They were going to do some great things, like we're going to add like a dozen more and stuff, but they haven't yet. But Jax have said they're adding us. We're in Exodus and they're Eden beta. Man, I love Exodus. It's such a cool wallet, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Just with the whole shapeshift and everything built in, and so I'm getting a mate of mine. He rings me up. He's like, "Yo, man, I want to get into DigiByte. I've seen some of your videos. This is cool. I like it." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "How do you get it? Like, what's the easiest way?" I was like, "Have you got Exodus?" He's like, "Yeah, I've got it." He's like, "Well, just send it." He's like, "Wow, I'm done."
Yeah.
Like just 3 seconds later, I was like, "I love Exodus, man. That's so cool." Yeah, we've got Windows, we've got Mac OS, we've got Linux, we've got the iOS. We're about to relaunch, and same for Android as well. Their new, like you said, the SBV, the light wallets, and things like that. We've even got the Chrome extension, the DigiByte Go wallet. So you just you install it, and you don't even install it. You add the extension, it's done straight away. So awesome. Yeah, we've got everything there. It's really cool. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Next question, and this is one I ask every single, until I get to interview Satoshi Nakamoto, I get to ask this question of everybody. So Bitcoin, like the Bitcoin maximalist community, they say that, the altcoins, they may come up with all these great innovations. All this is wonderful. You develop these great ideas, but ultimately all of these things are just going to get sucked into Bitcoin. Bitcoin Core is going to absorb all the good ideas, and they're going to get rid of all the bad ideas, and all these altcoins are going to fall apart, right? So, so what is your opinion of Bitcoin? Basically, what are your thoughts on that idea that Bitcoin can and will adopt all the good ideas from the altcoin community? And then in a grander scheme, like, what is your opinion of Bitcoin?
Dude, they wouldn't even do 2 megabyte blocks. Like, that's no, that's not happening. But like, okay, so on the one hand, right, like everybody's like, yeah, Litecoin is basically just a test bed for Bitcoin.
Right.
Like, and so they'll say that just like purely because like Segwit is the one example of that. Otherwise, it's totally wrong. It's totally like it's Satoshi. Satoshi. Charlie Lee. Oh, that was a bit of a slip up. He'd love that. Charlie Lee said back in August, he was like, "Yes, we're finally on par with the Bitcoin Core wallet." Mm-hmm. That was in August. Like, they are not bleeding edge. Like, they don't do stuff before it gets implemented. They've done Segwit, and they did Segwit like 6 weeks or something stupid before Bitcoin.
Right.
And even then, Bitcoin was still talking about it. So it's not a case of, Litecoin are leading the way. If anything, it's the opposite way. Like, and so it's kind of cool. We've done this now. We did it last year with our last wallet, and we're doing it again this year. So in the Bitcoin on GitHub, they're coming up with new ideas for their wallet and stuff like that, and they've got some new amendments and stuff like that. It's really cool. One of the things that we're doing is the new address generation. So we're going to change our address generation, and it will be DGB1. And so this is all stuff that's we've optimized it and we've fixed it up and we've got it ready for prime time release sort of thing. And so, we're probably going to release that in like a week or so. And we've done this way before Bitcoin, but Bitcoin did it first, right? Like technically, we've forked it from their code, right? Like,
right, sure.
So Bitcoin is still innovating, and they are still doing some really cool stuff. But like, they're not gonna do 2 megabyte blocks, man. Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
It's not happening. And so, like, could you imagine them trying to go multi-algo? Like, could you imagine just the absolute storm?
I don't see that happening.
Or even like changing the difficulty mining algorithm. Like, so let's say China gets bopped off the face of the planet tomorrow. The Great Firewall of China kicks in, and the Chinese government says no more mining. It's not happening. You're now going to mine our coin and our coin only, or something like that, right? And so all of a sudden they lose 60% of the network. It's then going to take like up to 2 weeks for the difficulty retargeting to come along and actually go down. And even then, it's only going to go down a little bit.
Right.
Like, so we're talking, if they've just lost 50% of their hash power, it's not going to be 2 weeks. It'll actually be a month. And then people are going to panic and they're going to try and sell out. So it's potentially, you know.
Right. It could destroy it.
It could. But so, like, can you imagine, like, there's no way they're going to implement, like, multi-algo. They're not going to implement the DigiShield. Like, DigiShield would fix that. Fix it totally. But they're not going to do it.
Interesting.
They're not. So, yeah, like, it's the Dogecoin guys. Like, I think one of the last things that they actually did was they implemented, with the help of DigiByte, they implemented DigiShield. And DigiShield saved Dogecoin. Like, if you look at the multiples and things that were happening, it was basically about to, like, up and die. And DigiShield basically saved Dogecoin. Cool. And so that's cool. We're now like in Monocoin. We're now in Zcash and stuff like that as well. So
sure, very cool.
Yeah.
What's your brief opinion on Bitcoin Cash?
I kind of like it, but at the same time, like they should have gone with the name Bcash for sure. Like, I don't care what Roger Ver says. Bcash is so much catchier, and the whole idea of trying to call it Bitcoin Core versus Bitcoin Cash is
right.
But whatever. Like, I like it on the one hand. I like that they've gone and they've got the larger blocks. They've got, what is it, like 8 meg blocks or something. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're delaying the inevitable. Really, like, okay, sure. So you've got slightly bigger blocks. Whoopee. Who else doesn't? Name one person who doesn't have a bigger block than Bitcoin at this time. Right. I think there's that one coin that does like a coin every day or something. I don't remember. But otherwise, everybody's got bigger blocks than Bitcoin.
Right.
Like, what's like 8 meg blocks? You're delaying it slightly. And so if you have a look, I think their transactions per second, they're not that much better off than the original Bitcoin. Whereas we're looking at DigiByte, and so it's not just about like a small band-aid now, but it's more like let's look like way into the future, and let's plan for that. So I like them. I like what they're doing in some ways. I still think that, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin is the Bitcoin, just like as far as I'm concerned, Ethereum Classic is the Ethereum.
Right.
But, you know, maybe I'm just old school, right? Now I'm showing my age, right?
Actually, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I get criticized. I've been a pretty vocal Bitcoin Cash supporter for you know, the reasons you're talking about. It's like, well, you know, they're trying to turn back on a lot of the things that Bitcoin Core shut off on the Bitcoin chain, the opcodes, and like they want to run smart contracts on the Bitcoin Cash chain, and they're like, yeah, hashing power is key, and you know, they do a lot of things. The things that I like, I like big blocks, and I like Bitcoin. I think it's funny that you mentioned the Bcash thing, because I've like, while Bitcoin Cash supporters do get up in arms about it, I just use it back. I use Bcash as a positive. It's like, even like when debating for Bitcoin Cash, I'm like, oh yeah, no, Bcash can do all these things, and blah, blah, you know, and they're just like,
it's catchy.
So, but this is not a Bitcoin Cash interview. If I get Roger Ver on, we can have that conversation, and that'll be delightful.
I saw the interview that, like, he did it with what's his name, Richard Hart, and the two of them had at it. That was a fantastic interview, and
oh man,
Cash versus, oh my goodness.
Absolutely. So on that note, you know, you get the people that talk about, you know, Bitcoin will never be dethroned. What does like absolute success look like for DigiByte? Like, what's the headline you guys want to see? Like, when do the DigiByte people all break out the champagne? Like, what's that thing? What is success?
Well, like, breaking out the champagne, like, that would be great if by that stage, like, I can't pay for the champagne because no, but like, you know what would be really cool though? Like, so everyone's all like, we want to be like number one, or we're all about the price. We got to reach like, $10 or something like that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be cool. Like, it really would, and it's totally doable, of course. Like, there's a reason we are intentionally 1,000-to-1 ratio of DigiByte versus Bitcoin, right? Because, one day if Bitcoin reaches like $1 million, like, how much is each Satoshi going to be worth then? Like, you really, like, fine-grained right there. Like,
sure.
Anyway, but so what would success look like? What would ultimate success look like? Would probably be the blockchain being utilized, right? Like, I mean, I would love to see people do 560 transactions per second on the DigiByte network. Sure. Bring it on. Like, do your worst. See if you can do it. Like, right. I mean, I'm not saying obviously go and try and like spam the network and shit like that. But what would be success would be something like us going into Venezuela, like this whole thing with David Hay, and trying to, like, giving 300,000 people 2 weeks worth of wages in cryptocurrency and finding them using that, and you've now saved that town and that city, that village, whatever, from a hyperinflating currency from their government. Like,
right.
Like, that would look like success. Like, people being able to use that to transact on a day-to-day basis, but probably also, like, the number one thing that I think we're going to see a lot more of in 2018 is the security side of it, and how the blockchain, and especially DigiByte, is so tipped to be able to resolve a lot of the issues that have plagued the internet. And so everything from notarizing documents to the security, the identification and things, authentication, all of that jazz, it's going to be really big, and I'm looking forward to that in 2018. It's going to be huge. It's
very cool. So, you mentioned, like, DigiByte is a fork of Litecoin, so it started as a cryptocurrency, but you mentioned all these other things that DGB, the coin or the token or whatever, can do.
Yep.
Should we consider DGB a utility token, or is it a currency, or is it some other thing? What do you like to consider it?
Well, it's kind of hard because, like, as soon as you say currency, and all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, so it's it's cryptocurrency. It's like Bitcoin, right? Yeah, it's like Bitcoin. But then you talk to them and it's like, well, actually, you can run, you could run like an ICO on top of it, just like Ethereum. Right. Okay, sure. So, well, now it's no longer just a currency, but okay, well, and then you can notarize a document into the blockchain. Like, so I could notarize my will into the blockchain, save the hash and everything, come back. Like, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, my wife could come back. She's got the document. She can verify that it was in the blockchain at that time, same hash. This is a true and accurate representation of his will. So now it's not like a compute engine either. It is literally a digital byte of data. So a DigiByte, it is probably better described as a digital asset. But again, like this whole elevator pitch thing, it doesn't work for it. So we got to figure that out.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And then you've got like the authentication side, like to be able to scan, like, so if you've got your wallet, you scan and sign into a website just by, like, you hold up your phone and you're signed in. No password, no nothing. It's all secure. And the website doesn't have to have a password of yours. So it doesn't matter if the website get compromised, because they can't then take your identity and sign in elsewhere. And so things like that, it's incredible. And so, yeah, probably let's roll with, like, we are a digital asset. But if you want to call us a cryptocurrency, that's cool. Call us a cryptocurrency, right? Like,
sure.
We're not going to go all Roger Ver where Bitcoin Cash on you.
Right.
I should start doing that. He's going to be like, I can't come on that show. You had that interview with DigiByte. And you guys
right. I never. Yeah, no, I'm going to piss everybody off. We're going to run out of developers because I criticize everyone. So, well, cool. It was a great answer. I guess to follow up, like, what would be the biggest like misconception then about DigiByte? Like, if there's one thing you'd like to stop hearing people be like, DigiByte is this, like, what would that thing be? What would you get rid of as an idea about DigiByte?
I would love for people to understand the difference between an ICO and a blockchain. Like, that is probably my number one. Like, But so it's probably twofold, because that, and then also the governance side of it, and like we act like a company and things like that. People going, well, the DigiByte Foundation needs to go off and you need to approach this company. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, sure. I mean, yeah, we'll get in touch with them, but why don't you give them a buzz? You said that your mate works over there, right? Like, why don't you give him a call? Like, put us in touch. Like, what's stopping you from doing that? No, you need to go and you need to get in touch with them, and you've got to contact them, and you've got to escalate this, and you've got to.
All right.
So it's really funny. We had this dude, and he was emailing me. It was hilarious, and he started getting all like upset, like about that kind of thing. I'm like, we're a decentralized blockchain. That means that you are empowered to go and do that, just in the way that I was empowered to make that mining website that was guides for people and educated people and things like, if you want to go out and do that, you should do it, man. Like, all power to you. And he was like, fine, I'll start my own foundation. Okay, cool, start your own foundation. Like, go for, honestly, like, do it. Right. If you think that you can form a company or a foundation, a nonprofit organization, whatever, right? Like, do it. If you think that you doing that will help the blockchain, do it. There is nobody who's going to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, that's part of the whole same thing like with Bitcoin. If somebody wants to start a company about Bitcoin and they want to like help Bitcoin and they want to advertise Bitcoin, they can do it. And so those are probably the two like big misconceptions. Number one, that we're an ICO, we got a shit ton of money in the bank. We really don't. Anything that I've got on my own DigiByte is because I mined myself, or like last year I even borrowed money from the bank to buy DigiByte.
I mean,
so.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, it shows you believe in the project, so they're lucky to have you, man.
Yeah. So those are probably like the two big misconceptions, and it's really interesting because a lot of people don't know that. Like you mentioned, like people are new. They've only come in maybe like in 2017 because they saw like ICOs, they saw Ethereum going from like $8 to $400 and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And then all the ERC20 tokens on top of it and stuff, and what are you going to do, right? Like, so I really like, especially like what you guys are doing with the whole education side, and to be able to teach people and to educate them on the differences and things. So it's
for sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll applaud you back, except for I got like microphone rig all in front of me. I'm going to knock it all over. So, well, very cool. You know, I like DigiByte. I've really enjoyed the interview as well. Is there like where can people spend DigiByte? Do you have like native retailers that are DigiByte retailers, or where can we find that information?
Yeah, so we do. We've even got a website. I think it's Use That Digi, where you can go on. There's places where you can buy and sell like just general goods.
Okay.
There is like they've got links to a bunch of websites and things like that. We've got integration on a whole lot of other stuff, and so you can. There are retailers you can buy video games with it. There's a whole lot of different things, and yeah, there is. I think it's Use That Digi, I think is the name of the website, which will give you a bit of information about that sort of stuff. Cool. We're now on over 50 exchanges or something. We had like 2 more at us yesterday as well, so we're probably closer to the 60 mark now. It's insane. Yeah, so if you want to buy it, like it's probably on your favorite. Everything like from Bittrex to Poloniex. Yeah, we're all over there.
Very cool. Well, is there anything we missed? Anything that you wish I would have asked you?
No, it's been cool, man. Like honestly, I like it. I love the format. I love what you guys are doing, especially with the whole, like to be able to educate people both on the ICOs and obviously you've had a lot more exposure. You've been around the block a lot longer, and you understand the differences. And I think it's really awesome what you're doing with the whole like to be able to teach people about why it's important you hold your own Bitcoin keys or your own DigiByte keys and what it means to then go through the Lightning Network and stuff like that. So I love what you guys are doing. I think it's fantastic, man. Cool. Well, thanks so much, man. Do you need to give a shout out to anybody? Anybody need a hello from Josiah Spackman before we sign off? I'll give a shout out to the Telegram community because they love it, especially like we've got the marketing channel in there, and they're probably they'll tune in and stuff and have a watch and say hello, and yeah, man, this sounds good. Pleasure. It's been great. Thanks for having us on. Very cool. Matt, do we have any pressing questions from Facebook you want to get asked, or should we close her down? Yeah, do a rapid fire. Cool. That's good. All right, cool. Man. Hey, look, if they've got any questions, if they want to jump, so we deal a lot on Telegram. I mean, I'm also in your crypto traders group and things, so I'm sure I can always answer a couple of questions if people have them. But otherwise, they're welcome to tweet at us, jump in Telegram, jump on Reddit, anything if people have questions. Awesome. And yeah, very cool. Well, same. This video is live on the Facebook Crypto Traders group. It will be uploaded tomorrow onto YouTube. You can find us at Crypto Traders Pro on YouTube. We are always at CryptoTradersPro.com. Crypto Traders News. What else do we got? We're all over the place. We're Instagram. You can find us anywhere in the universe. You can Google Crypto Traders Pro and find us. Josiah, thank you again so much for being on CoinCast. I'm Kurt Wurkert Jr. Signing off for now. We will see you very, very soon for the next episode of CoinCast here on Crypto Traders Pro or News or wherever. We're everywhere. Take care.